1. The departure of Saint John, Bishop of Jerusalem. On this day of the year 419 AD, the Holy Father Saint John II, Bishop of Jerusalem, departed. He became a monk in the monastery of Saint Hilarion with the great father Saint Epiphanius, Bishop of Cyprus. His picture, his pictures and knowledge became well known, and so they chose him a bishop for Jerusalem in the year 338, 388 AD. After the ordination of Saint Epiphanius, Bishop of Cyprus. After the ordination of Saint John a bishop, the enemy of good The enemy of good led him astray through the love of money. He gathered much money, made silver vessels of his table, and neglected the poor and the needy. When Saint Epiphanius heard that, he was troubled for what he knew about his friend Saint John, from asceticism, righteousness, worshipping, and being merciful. Saint Epiphanius, of because of his old friendship with Saint John, came from Cyprus to Jerusalem. He made it appear that he had come to visit and worship the places and visit the saints, but in fact he came to meet Abba John. When he arrived in Jerusalem, Abba John invited him for a visit. He prepared a table for Saint Epiphanius and put the silver vessels on the table before him. When Saint Epiphanius saw that his word was in vain, for he saw that his friend Abba John had in him no money, no mercy for the poor and the needy, Saint Epiphanius devised a plan to put his hands on these silver vessels. He went to one of the monasteries of Jerusalem and sent to Abba John asking to borrow these vessels from him. He pretended that some of the elders of Cyprus came to visit him, and he wished to offer them food using them. When Abba John sent the vessels to Saint Epiphanius, he took them, sold them, and gave the money as alms to the poor and the needy. A few days later, Abba John asked for the vessels, but Saint Epiphanius asked him to wait a while on him. Abba John repeated his demand a second and a third time. When Saint Epiphanius did not return them, Abba John seized him by the hem of his garment in the church of resurrection and said to him, I will not let you go until you give me back my silver vessels. Saint Epiphanius prayed to the Lord Christ and entered him for the sake of his old friend. Abba John became blind. He wept and entreated Saint Epiphanius to help him. Saint Epiphanius prayed for his sake and opened of his eyes and was healed. He looked at him and said, Behold, the Lord Christ has left blind one of your eyes as a reminder for you. He reminded him of his earlier benevolent life and told him that he had sold his vessels and gave the price as alms. He also told Abba John that he only came to Jerusalem to substantiate what he had heard about his greed and love of the world. Abba John awoke for his foolishness and advantage. He walked diligently in the path of charity beyond what can be described. He gave as alms all that he owed of money, clothes, and vessels. He forsook all things worldly to the point that they did not find a harm with him when he departed. God granted him a gift of healing the sick and performing signs. After he finished in his episcopate 31 years, he departed in peace. May his praise be with us. Amen. On this day also, the church in Egypt celebrates a great feast for the honorable angel Gabriel. The angel Gabriel announced Daniel with the return of the children of Israel from captivity, the coming of the Lord Christ, the timing of his coming, that he would be killed, the destruction of Jerusalem, and that no other Messiah will come after him except the Antichrist. This angel is the one of announced to Zachariah the birth of John, and 6 months later he came with the glad tidings. He came with the glad tidings of the salvation of the world, when he announced to the Virgin Mary, saying, you will conceive, and behold, you will conceive in your womb and birth for son, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Jesus. He will be great, and will called be the Son of the Highest, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and his kingdom there will be no end. Therefore, a church has arranged this feast to venerate this honorable angel. May his intercession be with us, and glory be to God forever. Amen.